"I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong table," she said. But fate had the right plan. The restaurant was buzzing, a quiet hum of conversations punctuated by the clink of cutlery and the occasional laugh. Emma clutched her notebook, scanning the reservation list for her table. She was early as always and a little nervous about the dinner. A new city, a new job, and tonight a solo dinner because sometimes life demands we face ourselves first. "Table 7? A man's voice said from behind her. She turned and found a stranger smiling politely, holding a menu. Tall, neatly dressed, eyes kind but curious. "I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong table," Emma said, her voice slightly hesitant. She had been used to awkward encounters in her new city, and this seemed like one of them. "Oh," he said, a shadow of disappointment crossing his face. Then he laughed softly. "Well, I guess fate has a sense of humor, huh?" Emma smiled, unsure what to say, and returned to her own table. Minutes passed. She was immersed in her notebook, scribbling ideas and plans when she noticed him again. He was struggling with a small, trembling woman at the next table. The woman looked lost, confused, clearly overwhelmed by the bustling restaurant. Emma's curiosity piqued, and her instincts kicked in. Without thinking, she rose. "Do you need some help?" she asked gently. The woman looked up, relief washing over her face. I don't know anyone here. My friend was supposed to meet me, but they didn't show." Emma guided her to a seat and reassured her. "It's okay. You're not alone." The man, table 7, watched silently, then nodded with gratitude. Emma smiled, feeling an unexpected warmth in her chest. They chatted for a while, laughter and small confessions bridging the gap between strangers. Emma learned that the woman was new in town too, struggling to adjust, and the man was a kind soul, working late shifts, quietly helping people wherever he could. The night flowed like a gentle river. A spilled drink became a shared joke. A mix-up with orders turned into a lesson about patience. Emma felt lighter, as if the universe had whispered, "This is exactly where you belong." Hours later, when they parted ways, the man held out his hand. "I'm glad I sat at the wrong table," he said sincerely. Emma blinked, her heart catching in her throat. The woman waved goodbye, smiling, tears of gratitude glinting in her eyes. Emma walked home, her notebook now empty but her heart full. A simple act, offering help to a stranger, had transformed the evening into something unforgettable. She realized kindness wasn't just about grand. Emma stepped out into the quiet city evening, the cool air brushing against her face. The cafe lights glowed softly behind her, reflecting faintly on the wet pavement from a recent drizzle. She clutched her notebook closer, though it was empty now. Somehow words felt unnecessary. The night had written its own story. As she walked, the man from the cafe caught up with her, a small envelope in his hand. "Hey," he said softly, "I forgot to give you this." Emma blinked, surprised. He handed her the envelope with a warm smile, eyes bright with quiet intention. "It's nothing fancy," he added. "Just something to remember tonight by." Curiosity piqued, Emma opened the envelope as they walked together. Inside was a single handwritten letter. "Sometimes the wrong table leads to the right people. Thank you for noticing, for helping, for being kind. Kindness changes the world, one small act at a time." Emma felt a lump in her throat. Words she had written herself in her private reflections suddenly felt alive, echoing in the stranger's handwriting. She looked up at him, wanting to say something, but only a smile came, and somehow it said more than words could. They strolled through the city streets, talking softly about ordinary things, the book she was reading, the street artist she passed on her way to work, the little joys of daily life. Everything felt luminous yet grounded, like the night itself had slowed to make space for connection. Eventually, they reached the park near her apartment. Emma paused, realizing it was time to say goodbye. But instead of awkwardness or uncertainty, there was a peacefulness in the moment, a sense that life was exactly as it should be. "Thank you," Emma said simply. "For tonight, for everything." He nodded, eyes warm. "Fate had a plan," he said, "and maybe it wanted us to notice it together." They parted ways, and Emma walked into her apartment, heart light and full at once. Sitting by her window, she looked out at the quiet city, imagining all the tiny, invisible threads that connected people every day. Every small act of kindness, every gesture of attention, every choice to step forward instead of turn away. It all mattered. Emma realized then that life didn't need grand gestures to change the world. Sometimes it only required noticing a person, offering help, or sharing a smile. Sometimes it only required sitting at the wrong table and letting fate work quietly around you. As she finally set her notebook down and closed her eyes, she carried a profound sense of gratitude, not only for the evening she had shared, but for the understanding that kindness, even in its smallest form, could create ripples far beyond imagination. And in that thought, she fell asleep smiling. The next morning, Emma awoke to a soft drizzle tapping against her window. The city was quiet, but inside her apartment she felt an unexpected energy, an echo of the previous night's encounter. Something had shifted. The cafe, the strangers, the small gestures of kindness. They had planted a seed of hope she didn't know she needed. She decided to go for a walk. Wrapping her light blue coat around her, she stepped out into the streets, puddles reflecting the gray sky. As she wandered past the familiar corner where she often stopped for coffee, her heart skipped. There, standing under the awning of the cafe, was the man. He waved gently, holding a small paper cup of coffee and a warm smile. "I thought you might like a proper coffee this time," he said. "And maybe a fresh start to the day." Emma laughed softly, feeling the tension of the morning melt away. "You really plan all your acts of kindness carefully, don't you?" "Not at all," he admitted, shrugging. "I just follow the signs." They walked together along the quiet streets, talking about simple things, the way rain makes the city feel softer, how small routines can carry hidden magic, how a kind word can change someone's entire day. Emma felt lighter than she had in months. As they approached the park, they saw the lost woman from the cafe sitting alone on a bench, sketchbook in hand. She looked up, startled, but her face broke into a relieved smile when she recognized Emma. I just wanted to say thank you again," she whispered. "You made me feel like I belonged." Emma smiled, reaching out to squeeze her hand gently. "You do belong," she said. "Sometimes it just takes someone else noticing to remind you." The stranger joined them, and for a few moments the three of them simply stood there, sharing a quiet human connection. No words were needed. The gratitude, relief, and hope were written clearly in their expressions. It was then that Emma realized something profound. Life wasn't about perfect plans or flawless timing. It was about presence, attention, and small acts of courage. Helping someone, offering a smile, or simply showing up could ripple far beyond what one could see. And sometimes even the smallest gestures could lead to life-changing encounters. As the drizzle eased into a light mist, Emma looked at both of them, the stranger and the woman, and felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Fate had indeed placed them together, not by accident, but through a quiet alignment of hearts willing to notice, care, and act. She turned to the stranger, her heart full. "Thank you for last night," she said. "For everything." He smiled softly. "No, thank you. You reminded me why small gestures matter." As they parted ways again, Emma walked toward her apartment with a sense of calm determination. She felt inspired to carry that evening's lesson forward, to be more present, more observant, and more willing to step forward when someone needed her. And in that moment, she understood a simple truth. Kindness is never wasted, fate always finds a way, and sometimes the wrong table leads you exactly where you're meant to be.